I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am, still shaking with anger and disbelief. This happened just yesterday, and I genuinely don't know if I'm overreacting or if my entire world is actually falling apart. For context, I've been dating Jake for almost 3 years now. We met in graduate school, hit it off immediately, and have been solid ever since. He's thoughtful, funny, and genuinely the person I've pictured spending my life with. We've talked about marriage, kids, the whole future package. My best friend Qley, 26F, has been in my life since high school. We've been through everything together, bad breakups, family drama, career setbacks, you name it. She was even the one who encouraged me to talk to Jake at that department mixer where we first met. Or so I thought. Yesterday started like any normal Friday. I was working from home while Jake was at his office. Around noon, my phone rang, and I saw it was Qley calling. Nothing unusual there. We talk several times a week. I answered with my usual cheerful, "Hey girl, what's up?" What I heard next made my blood run cold. "Hey babe, I've been thinking about last night," Qley purred in that flirty voice I've heard her use on guys at bars. "You were amazing. When can I see you again?" I was confused. "Qley, I think you dialed me by mistake." There was a moment of silence, then a startled gasp. "Oh my God, Sarah. Oh shit." And then she hung up. My mind was racing. Who was she calling? Why did she say babe? Last night Jake had told me he was working late and then grabbing drinks with coworkers. A sick feeling started forming in my stomach. I called her back immediately. No answer. I texted, "Qley, what the hell was that call about?" No response. I tried to focus on work, but couldn't. An hour later, my phone pinged with a text from Qley. "Can we talk?" "It's not what you think." Of course it wasn't what I thought. It couldn't be. My boyfriend and my best friend wouldn't do that to me, right? I called her back, and she answered on the first ring. Her voice was shaking. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. That call was supposed to be for someone else." "Who?" I demanded. "Just someone I've been seeing. You don't know him." She sounded nervous. "Then why did you mention last night?" "Jake told me he was working late, and then with coworkers." Silence. "Qley, I swear to God, if you don't tell me the truth right now." "It was just once," she blurted out. "Last night was the first time, I swear. It just happened. We were both drunk and..." I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I texted Jake, "We need to talk. Come home now." He replied almost instantly, "Can't leave work right now. Everything okay?" That's when I knew. Jake never texted back that quickly during work hours unless something was wrong. He knew. They both knew. And now I had to figure out what to do with my entire life crumbling around me. I spent the next 3 hours in a daze, alternating between crying, rage cleaning the apartment, and staring blankly at my phone. Qley had sent multiple texts. "Please let me explain. It was a huge mistake. I know I'm the worst person ever, but please talk to me." I ignored them all. Part of me wanted to call my mom or my other friends, but I couldn't bring myself to say the words out loud. Saying it would make it real. When I heard Jake's key in the door around 6 p.m., I was sitting calmly at our kitchen table. Too calmly. The kind of calm that comes after the storm has destroyed everything and there's nothing left to feel. He walked in looking nervous, his eyes darting around the apartment like he was assessing potential escape routes. "Hey," he said, setting down his bag. "What's going on? Your text seemed urgent." I looked at him. This man I thought I knew better than anyone. The man who held me when my grandmother died last year. The man who surprised me with tickets to see my favorite band for my birthday. The man who apparently had been sleeping with my best friend. "How long?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady. His face fell. He knew exactly what I was talking about. "Sarah, how long?" Jake sank into the chair across from me. "It was just once. Last night. It was a terrible mistake." The exact words Qley had used. They'd clearly gotten their story straight. "So you just happened to randomly hook up with my best friend for the first time ever last night? After 3 years of knowing each other? You expect me to believe that?" He ran his hands through his hair, something he always did when stressed. "I swear it was only once. We've been talking for maybe a couple weeks, but nothing physical happened until last night." Talking. The word tasted bitter. About what exactly? Just, I don't know. Work stuff at first, then personal things. Behind my back. He nodded miserably. "Why?" I asked. The question had been burning inside me since Qley's call. Why her? Why my best friend of all people? Jake stared at his hands. "Things have been different between us lately. You've been so busy with your promotion, staying late at work, always tired when you're home. I felt like we were drifting apart." The audacity of trying to blame me made my blood boil. "So, instead of talking to me about it, you decided to talk to Qley? To sleep with her?" "It wasn't planned. We were at O'Malley's with the group, and everyone else left, and we kept drinking and talking about you, actually, and then..." "Then what?" "You both magically fell into bed together." I'm so sorry, Sarah. I've never felt worse about anything in my life. It was the biggest mistake I've ever made. I laughed, a hollow sound. Mistake? No, Jake. A mistake is forgetting to pay the electric bill. A mistake is burning dinner. Sleeping with my best friend is a choice. Multiple choices, actually, made over and over again during those weeks of talking and definitely last night. Tears were streaming down his face now. I'll do anything to fix this. Anything. I love you. I want to marry you someday. This doesn't have to destroy everything we've built. I stood up. Pack whatever you need for tonight. I don't care where you go, but you're not staying here. Sarah, please. You have 15 minutes before I start throwing your things off the balcony. As he scrambled to pack a bag, my phone rang again. Qley. I answered this time. We need to talk, I said coldly. In person. Tomorrow at noon. The coffee shop on 7th. She agreed immediately, sounding relieved I was speaking to her at all. When Jake left, his eyes red and pleading, I locked the door behind him, slid down to the floor, and finally let myself break apart completely. I barely slept that night. When my alarm went off at 8 a.m., I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. My eyes were swollen from crying, and my throat was raw. Jake had called 12 times and left a string of increasingly desperate voicemails. I deleted them all without listening. After a long shower that didn't make me feel any cleaner, I got dressed with unusual care. If I was going to confront the woman who had betrayed me in the worst possible way, I wasn't going to look like I had been destroyed by it, even though I had. I arrived at the coffee shop 20 minutes early and chose a table in the back corner. When Qley walked in at exactly noon, she looked almost as bad as I felt. Her normally perfect hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she wasn't wearing makeup, something I'd rarely seen in our 15 years of friendship. She spotted me and walked over hesitantly, like she was approaching a wild animal that might attack. Smart girl. Can I get you anything? She asked, gesturing to the counter. I don't want anything from you, I replied. Sit down. She slid into the chair across from me, her eyes already welling with tears. Sarah, I am so sorry. I know that doesn't begin to cover it, but I held up my hand. I'm not here for your apology. I'm here because after 15 years of friendship, I deserve explanations. Qley nodded, wiping her eyes with a napkin. You do. Ask me anything. When did this start? And don't give me that just last night bullshit you two coordinated. She winced. The feeling started maybe 6 months ago. Nothing happened though, I swear. We never even discussed it. Then about a month ago, he texted me about planning your birthday, and somehow the conversation just changed. 6 months. Half a year of my best friend coveting my boyfriend. The betrayal cut even deeper. Did you ever think about me at all? About what this would do to me? Of course I did. I hated myself for even having those feelings. I tried to date other guys to get over it. I almost told you so many times. But instead, you slept with him. She looked down at her hands. Yes. Were you ever going to tell me? If you hadn't accidentally called me yesterday, would I ever have known? Qley hesitated, which was answer enough. Did you want him to leave me for you? Was that the plan? There was no plan, she insisted. It just happened, and then we both immediately regretted it. We agreed it was a terrible mistake that could never happen again. I laughed bitterly. How noble of you both. What are you going to do? She asked quietly. About Jake? About us. I took a deep breath. The question I'd been wrestling with all night. Jake is already out of my apartment and my life. As for us, I looked at her. This woman who had been my confidant, my shoulder to cry on, my partner in crime since we were awkward 10-year-olds. There is no us anymore, Qley. You don't betray someone you love like this. Please, she whispered, tears flowing freely now. 15 years of friendship. We can work through this. The thing is, I said, standing up, I realized something last night. A real friend, a true best friend, would never even consider doing what you did. So maybe we were never really friends at all. The look on her face was pure devastation, but I felt nothing. Just emptiness where 15 years of memories used to be. As I walked out of the coffee shop, my phone buzzed with a text from Jake. Please call me. I miss you so much. We can fix this. I blocked his number. 3 days later, I was still functioning on autopilot. Work, home, mindless TV, sleep, repeat, when my doorbell rang. It was my college roommate Megan, standing there with a bottle of wine, ice cream, and a sympathetic smile. Your mom called me, she explained. Said you might need someone to talk to who isn't connected to everything. For the first time since the call that changed everything, I felt a tiny crack in the wall of ice around my heart. I lost them both at once, I told her later, as we sat on my couch. My future and my past, gone in one day. Megan squeezed my hand. You didn't lose your future. You just discovered it wasn't what you thought it was. Your real future is still out there. I didn't believe her. Not yet. But as I fell asleep that night, I realized I hadn't checked my phone for messages from either of them all evening. It wasn't much, but it was a start.